Hello and welcome to Every Day's a Holiday. I'm Tani Holiday and I am here today to help you to pack for whenever you travel. And there's certain travel essentials that I take with me. It doesn't matter whether I'm traveling on land. It doesn't matter if I'm traveling by sea on a cruise. I always like to take a few essential items with me. And some of them you'll notice like, you're going to take on a larger trip, but these are the items like you should definitely have with you. And for me, some of them might be what I call my paranoid just in case items, but I have had to use them on multiple occasions. So let's get right into it. My number one item that I take with me all the time is some sort of foldable bags. So you'll see this. I will put the on the sides of the video, you'll see the caption of these items that where you can get them on Amazon or you can research and get them wherever you'd like. But one of those things is these little packable bags, which are so adorable. So I actually take this with me wherever I go. I can drop it in my bags. And so this is something that I take. I'm not a huge shopper anymore because I've been to quite a bit of places and I'm not really into tchotchkes or buying tchotchkes for other people. I try to get more meaningful items. And so I do take this bag with me. It's great, especially when you're on a ship or you're not sure if you're going to buy anything, but it's like the just in case bag, and it works really great for me. The other thing is that to make sure you invest in your luggage, invest in that. So I don't know how many times you may have seen people walking through the airport where like they're missing a wheel. They can't zip their bags or the luggage comes out and like half the person's stuff is out of it because a zipper broke, or you see the people just struggling because the luggage didn't make it. And especially as you're going through Europe, I mean, they are rough on luggage. And in the airports, like you don't know what's going to happen to your luggage. So you definitely want to invest in a great piece of luggage. I personally prefer the Osprey brand. Now, I don't get paid for that or anything, but Osprey has a lifetime warranty. And with 1 million miles in the air and over 30 cruises on land, not land, over 30 cruises at sea, it's definitely been great to have an Osprey bag. And let me tell you why. These bags are super, super sturdy. And one of my favorite things is that if anything happens to that bag, it has a lifetime warranty. So I can just send the bag back and ship it, and they'll send me either the bag back repaired, or in most cases, they'll just offer you the opportunity to just to replace your bag at retail value plus 10%. If you see a bag that you like better, that's maybe a little more expensive, up to 10%. Why is this important? Because I'm about to tell you how you can get an Osprey bag not at full price, because I researched my Osprey bags because I was like, that's expensive. $300 for a piece of luggage is steep, whereas I was used to paying $50 to maybe $150, but all of those were destroyed and then I just had to buy more. So with Osprey, what I do is I went on eBay to find Osprey bags that were in good condition. The other thing that I did is I looked for deals on Amazon. I'll put a couple of the deals that I found. You'll be able to see those, and we'll definitely add links to all the products that we talk about. But getting a good bag is priceless. And it doesn't have to be Osprey, but when I tell you that I have upgraded many an Osprey bag because of the fact that the bag couldn't be repaired. And I took bags through a lot, like through cobblestone streets in Europe. They've made it through the airports. And the bags usually last me a couple of years. I've been using Osprey bags for over 20 years now. I've had this particular Osprey bag for over 15 years. And I've never had to return this one. Now, the bigger guys, you sometimes have to return. But again, that's because of the fact that the airports are so tough on the luggage. And it wasn't that I had to return it. It was just like maybe, hey, I just thought it looked a little more worn than typical. And so I sent it back and they replaced it. So definitely Osprey is a great brand. I use them for my backpack because I get a chance to balance the bag. The way your back feels when you invest in a bag that balances kind of like the weight and takes it off of you. And then also has some kind of air pockets in the back to let your back breathe so your back isn't all sweaty from the backpack. And Osprey does an excellent job of that. There are other great companies out there, I'm sure, but once I found Osprey and the unlimited warranty and the ability to kind of like upgrade my bags if things happen was great. And I'm not returning them every year. We're talking like every 3 to 4 years. And I'm putting lots of miles on these bags. The other thing is my little trusty small bag that I showed you initially fits inside my Osprey if I do decide I want to do something else. So Osprey has lots of different bags. You'll be able to see this one if you're interested in getting that. But definitely invest in your luggage, invest in a good backpack. And this is if you're going to be traveling a lot. If you're just going on a one-off, you probably don't care. But I knew 20 plus years ago that I was going to do lots of travel. And so I made sure that I invested in the luggage because I had destroyed so many pieces of luggage or had them destroyed for me, actually, in traveling, that I realized that it was time to invest. And it was 110% worth the investment. It's a great company. And so I've been impressed with customer service, etc. So the other thing that I like to bring with me is I always bring a battery charger. And I don't mean the one that just charges your phone. I mean the one that has multiple USB ports. It can handle USB-A and USB-C because I want to be prepared. And sometimes I've even shared it with travelers because of the fact that they forgot theirs or didn't have it, or on the plane, the plug didn't work. So definitely bring your battery charger. Don't rely on the fact that you have a great phone and your battery is going to last, because trust me, when you're traveling, there's nothing like that 4-hour flight delay to really use up some of your battery life. So this is my be prepared. And I take that with me literally everywhere. So it doesn't matter whether I'm traveling or not. I always kind of carry my battery charger. So the next thing that I always bring with me, and a lot of people you'll see traveling, is this is not a Contigo, but I usually bring something that does hot or cold water that allows me to go from tea to ice water, whatever it is that I want. Now, I did try some of those like flexible things and they bend. Ew. And I'm like, no. Like I tried it and I was like, this is too flimsy for me. Like I don't need flexibility in a water bottle. So for me, that was a negative. And so I decided to not do that. But what I do suggest that you do is that when you get your water bottle, get something with like a handle, or get something. For some people, they like these little carry things. I'm just going to show you a few that I actually have, where you can actually just kind of stick your water bottle inside and then carry this. And then it has room for other items. I bought this for something bigger, but the bigger thing was heavier when filled up. So I actually will use this when I go for walks, or just if I'm just traveling somewhere and I don't need a lot of information, a lot of things with me. And then it has like a little pocket in the front that I can go on ahead and put, like, if you want to put any kind of ID or anything like that in there, you can. But I also have lots of room inside to put just a couple of items if I wanted to put lipstick or something like that. So you definitely, when you bring your water bottle, decide if you need a carrier, or you might be able to just put it on the sides of your backpack, which I have for Osprey. So definitely, I always will bring a water bottle. And so we always need to make sure we stay hydrated. And sometimes when you're on vacation, especially if I'm going somewhere like Vegas, I notice I don't drink a lot of water. So having the bottle is a reminder for me to drink more water. So the next item that I always bring with me is comfortable shoes. Like in the States, you see folks walking around with 4 or 5 inch heels. That is not what they do internationally. You don't see that in Portugal. Even when you go to Spain or some of these other countries, while people going to work may have a higher heeled shoes, you will see a majority of the people either in flat sandals, something comfortable, or you'll see them with sneakers. I will definitely bring a pair of sneakers, and I will bring a pair of more comfortable, flatter shoes, especially for my cruise ships. So I've seen people do tumbles now with that ship kind of moving from side to side. I've seen a few tumbles on the cruise lines with people trying to be cute in these like 4 and 5 inch heels. So that's a negative for me. So I will stick to dressier flats, because sometimes the ships are moving a little more depending on the type of waters that you're in or the size of your ship, where you might feel the motion of the ocean just a little bit more. Always bring a pair of sneakers. I don't care where I am going. I will take a pair of sneakers with me, Because sometimes, especially when you go to Europe, you got these cobblestone streets. You may have uneven streets when you go to some areas in Central and South America, especially, or other countries that might not be as developed. Like looking cute at the feet, like get a nice pair of dress sneakers. And if this is not to deter you from bringing your heels, but as my dad say, do you want to be cute or you want to be comfortable? And I can tell you that when you bring those shoes, I don't know how many conferences or things you've been at where the people start off and the ladies, we all start off in 4 and 5 inches. And by the time it's done, we in slippers. Like, no, no, let's cut that. Let's cut those days out and just start finding some more comfortable shoes out there. I can tell you from a sandals perspective, if I want something in heels and I'm about comfort, and I like a company called Jambu, and I have a lot of sandals that actually have a little bit of a heel from them. Some of them are a little clunky, but there are some nice pairs. They're always super comfortable. You can walk in them all day, every day. If you just want maybe a little elevated heel in your sandals, but you're still going to have the comfort. And there's lots of other companies out there. That's just one that I actually just particularly use. And I have some higher heel sandals that I could wear that are comfortable. But again, comfort is the game. Now, if you tell me you're comfortable in 5 inches and you rocking with it, knock yourself out. But if you fall, I'm moving to the side. I'm not catching people. I will help you up, but no, yeah. So let's just go for comfort as it relates to the shoes. So the next travel item that I always take with me is some sort of medical or hashtag survival kit, if you will, because I just want to make sure that I have my bases covered. And it's nothing like being in a foreign country. It's not like you can go to the store so quickly or know where to go. And so I always bring a a survival-ish medical kit with me. So what's in that kit? There's always a flashlight, which I usually actually carry in whatever backpack, etc., that I have. I always bring a flashlight. I just don't like the idea of being in the dark. I've probably seen too many of the movies where something happens. So I always bring a flashlight. But what else is in my medical kit? I always have band-aids, alcohol swabs, things like aspirin, or some kind of pain reliever, whether it's Tylenol, Aleve. I'm no doctor to tell you which one to bring, but I personally just bring Aleve. I bring aspirin if you're traveling with someone that has heart issues or you're older. And I just bring that with me. The other thing that I think you should have in your kit is sports tape. So I'm not bringing ace bandages for sprained ankles or possible sprains or anything like that, but I will definitely bring athletic tape. And trust me, I have had to use it. I sprained my ankle in Vietnam, and literally in the airport, my dad was with me. He put like sports tape on my ankle to help support it. He's used it for his knees or his shoulders while we were out. So we definitely will keep the sports tape. So just take a couple of strips with you. I've been with friends that have gotten injured and they have needed my sports tape. So definitely that is included in my kit. The other thing that I usually bring is some type of wipe, whether it's Clorox wipes or hand sanitizing wipes. I will bring that with me. And my other favorite now that I've added in recent years, Tiger Balm. So Tiger Balm is great if you bring the little Tiger Balm oil with you because it helps you if you get congested. So you can put it almost like you would like a Vicks vapor rub around your nose. I've used it for aches. Your back hurts, you slept wrong, you put a little Tiger Balm on it, everything starts to get a little better. So it's kind of like that multi-use item that I bring with me, and it's small and compact. You can decide if you want the one that's kind of like the creamier. I usually bring the oil because then I can just put it in a lotion to help it absorb more. But definitely bring the Tiger Balm. If you're over 40, bring the Tiger Balm. Trust me, you will thank me. And if you're younger, you could just bring it because you might be doing some stuff that you just need some Tiger Balm. So that is also what is in my kit. The other thing that I bring with me is some sort of jacket or cardigan, just something, even if it's a sweatshirt, like bring something with you. I don't care if I'm going to the Caribbean. At the end of the day, there's air conditioner. And so I personally run a little cold. So I always bring something with me. And I don't know about you, but I like look in shock when I get on airplanes and you see these people that are like shivering, but it was like you came on an airplane with a tank top. Like, what were you expecting? And they're looking for blankets. So bring your jacket with you, because the temperatures do fluctuate and you're going to be inside at some point, and there may be air conditioning. So definitely you want to be prepared and not be the person that's shivering or upset when the flight attendant tells you that if you're in economy class that you cannot get a blanket. I've seen that happen too. Um, and, people aren't necessarily sharing jackets on planes. So all I can say is bring something to help you adjust to the temperature changes, even on cruise ships, right? Cruising to the Caribbean, when you're sitting outside on your balcony, or maybe you're upstairs in the upper levels and like outside, you don't need the jacket, but it's actually cooler inside. So definitely make sure that you bring some sort of jacket or sweatshirt with you to travel with. One of the other things that I always bring with me whenever I travel is cash, right? So now we're in the days where everybody's swiping credit cards, etc. But depending on where you are in the world, that may not be available. Or so not only do I bring cash, so US dollars, I also bring some of the currency of the location that I'm in, and not a lot and not at all times. However, I definitely like to have a little bit of cash with me, because I've been to places. I can tell you in Bermuda, there are places like ice cream parlors, for example, or restaurants that don't take anything other than cash. And they'll take that US dollar, but cash is king. And so you're going to find that as you travel, that one, you're not going to necessarily have access to as many ATMs as you would in the States, but two, that you're going to need to have some cash available, because some establishments are not going to accept credit cards. And this has happened to me in Europe. It's happened to me in Central and South America. It's happened in Bermuda. And so definitely I like to carry some cash. Now, I'm not telling you to carry $1,000 in cash. I'm talking something minimal, like $100, maybe $200 in US dollars to take with you. And if you're going somewhere locally, take $100 of local currency. And I think that usually gets me through well enough so that I don't have like a lot of that foreign currency when I come back. I can spend $100 somewhere. One of the other things that I don't travel without, my headset. So one or two pairs, big and small, like I'm taking them, because it is very important for me. Sometimes you just want to be left alone, quite frankly. Like you just want to just listen to your music, you want to read your book. So the deterrent headphones or the Bose headsets, so those are the ones that say do not disturb. However, I have the smaller headsets that I use for music, also, that I travel with. And those are kind of like my day-to-day when I'm out and about. And the Bose headsets I may use typically when I'm indoors, or if I'm somewhere where it's very, very loud, I will use my Bose headsets. It's all about what your preference is. I would just say at least bring one pair for yourself so you can listen to your music, talk on the phone, or just kind of, minimize some of the noise that you have that's around you. So I definitely always bring a pair of headphones. The other thing that I travel with now is my selfie stick. So I never understood until I started the YouTube channel the importance of having this stick, and not just for videos, but just as an opportunity to capture things that I'm not going to be able to capture if I just have my phone. So there's lots of times when you're in Europe and there's like crowds around a particular monument, etc., and you can actually lift that selfie stick up and get a better view. And so I find that it gives me more access to things that are higher up. It allows me to kind of go over people's heads a bit, and it just gives me better views and lets me take better selfie shots when I want to take shots with my family, etc. And so the selfie stick is definitely something else that I like to bring with me, that I like, and it's a bit versatile. And so definitely I would not leave home without it anymore. So let's go for a bonus item. And so I know we're in this kind of digital age and everyone likes to put everything on their phone. And even the passports now, there's digital passports. But one of the things that I always say to bring with you is your documentation. And so I don't know how many of you have tried to get on a plane and you couldn't get your phone to light up enough, or the scanner didn't read your thing. didn't read your boarding pass, and so you had to like go to the side, or you've seen this happen at least one time if you travel quite a bit. The other thing is like your passport. There's many times people misplace their passports. So having a paper copy of your passport, at least one, for you and everyone traveling with you, it's important. Hotel arrangements. So if you made hotel arrangements online, print out a copy of that. It doesn't mean you have to print out all 10 pages, but make sure there's a point that shows your dates and what you paid for. And so I tend to do that. I don't print out lots and lots of paperwork, but for some of those important items where I don't want to have to rely on it being in my phone, I will print out a paper copy. And so I know we're in this kind of more digital age, but sometimes some of that stuff just doesn't work. And it's nothing like trying to move throughout the building to try to make sure your internet is working, and you're like moving all across the airport or moving in the hotel trying to find where the internet is best. I'm not doing all of that. I've done that, and it was a pain in the behind. So I will no longer do that. So those are my top travel items that I bring with me, regardless of where I'm going, whether it's at land, whether I'm at sea, or just going on a short weekend trip. So whether it's a vacation or a daycation, I always bring kind of those items with me. And so hopefully you found this video helpful. The items that I've talked about, I will put links to some of them that I found on Amazon, and hopefully you've seen some of the pictures of them on the screen, and you can leverage some of those items. Put in the comments if you like them. I definitely want to hear about how you guys like Osprey, because that is like my favorite. That's a lifesaver. And literally my dad and I all have Osprey luggage at this point. I'm Osprey down when it comes to luggage. So please like, share, subscribe. Thank you for joining me in all your packing. Pack your patience and enjoy your life. Bye-bye.